what we're facing now is a very dangerous situation. I think that Putin is deeply committed to winning in Ukraine. Putin feels that he cannot lose. Again, as I said to you before, he views this as an existential threat. And by that, he means that it is a threat to the survival, to the well-being of Russia. He thinks that the idea of NATO on Russia's doorstep in Ukraine presents a military and political threat that is simply unacceptable. So I think in this case, there's not much question what he means when he says it's an existential threat. Now, I will point out to you that there are a good number of people in the West who say that it's not an existential threat, that NATO's presence in Ukraine does not threaten Russia's survival. My response to them is, I don't care what they think. The only thing that matters is what Vladimir Putin thinks. And if Putin and his lieutenants think it's an existential threat, we ought to be very careful in dealing with him. Well, I fully understand why the Ukrainians want to join the West. I understand. I understand why they want to be part of NATO. But the fact is, the Russians find that unacceptable. And the Russians are much more powerful than the Ukrainians, and they will go to great lengths to prevent that from happening. And if Ukraine were smart, it would not have pursued NATO membership. I would note to you, by the way, if you look at the Western Hemisphere, the United States has a Monroe Doctrine. The United States does not believe that countries in the Western Hemisphere have a right to have their own foreign policy. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, when I